I don't know. I would say I'll have to like agree with both of you because the cold rain and the allergies, both of them, but the cold rain, you just can't do anything about it.
Nope.
Like it's just miserable. And that's what a lot of us are going to be dealing with more of. Now, some of us are getting snow, though, so let's talk about where we are getting snow because a little bit of lake effect snow is happening out there. Look at these temperatures that we've got. We've warmed up above freezing for much of the northeast, still getting a little bit of that lake effect snow. Winds have shifted just a little bit, but you can see still snowing in Syracuse, Buffalo. You've got winds sustained at 23, gusting up to 40 miles an hour, though. So not only do you got a little bit of snow coming down, but you've got those gusty winds. That means you're going to have a little bit of a reduction in visibility. This is just very windy across the Great Lakes region right now. Detroit gusting up to 35, Grand Rapids up to 44. Here's what we're expecting as we head throughout the day. The winds stay gusty, and you'll notice that we're continuing with that trend of lake effect snow coming off of Lake Erie, coming off of Lake Ontario. And then, of course, in the snow belt where we see some of that snow continuing to add up, that will be where we see the higher totals as well. You get a little bit of a break on Thursday, but we're still seeing some of that tomorrow as we head into Wednesday. The totals here, not huge amounts for everyone, but the typical places where we see a little bit more, like the Tug Hill Plateau, maybe 5 to 8 inches there, guys. And you can see around the Great Lakes with the snowfall departure. Some people are probably looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's so big in inches. We got to tell you in feet. It's 5 to 6 feet.
Oh,
you know?
a deficit, right?
Yeah.
Felicia, thanks.
Well, look.
Have you had one before?
No, I've never had snake. Weirdest thing I've ever eaten was possum.
Oh, really?
I didn't know it was possum at the time.
Was it gamey?
It tasted like what I imagine licking a cigarette ashtray would taste like.
Oh, really?
Delicious.
Yeah. So gonna pass on the possum, but you know, I tried it once. I tried the snake once. Let's talk about the weather because we got to keep a close eye on this. We're watching our next system lining up. You can see our upper low kind of hanging out. It's been hanging out across the Four Corners region, the Southwest, for quite some time. It's finally going to get kicked out as we head into tomorrow. We're going to start to see our next storm systems developing ahead of that low. It's going to increase the moisture, going to bring us that chance for some storms. And then we watch as another low starts to take shape off the southeast coast heading into the late part of the week and the weekend. That's when we're going to watch for impacts for the northeast as well. But across the southeast, heading into the middle to the latter part of the week, we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms. A couple areas could see a few inches. You can see the models here predicting 2 to 3 inches in some places on top of already very saturated ground. Guys, a place like Montgomery has had double the amount of rain so far this month than it should have. So another wet, soggy time across the southeast.
Felicia, thank you.
Yeah. So we've been watching the lake effect snow across portions of the Great Lakes region. The next thing we're watching is our next system that's going to move through. Now, 2 different models, 2 different ideas of exactly what's going to happen. The European model, you can see it here, putting some of the higher totals across portions of southern Wisconsin, maybe a bit across North Dakota or southern North Dakota. Now, that's the European model. The American model has a much larger swath of those higher totals. And you can see here it's covering many more areas a bit farther north as well. So Minneapolis, maybe this will help chip away a little bit more at your snowfall deficit, or maybe you won't get much out of it. It's still something we're going to have to watch. Plenty of cold air in place. That's going to be hanging around across the northern tier. So you've got the cold air, you've got the winds cranking, you've got some moisture that's going to be combined in there. So guys, another just dousing of that snow. They are really behind in terms of their snowfall totals up there. So I'm sure people are looking forward to it.
Not really oyster weather, I'll tell you that much.
It's crazy. It's coming back. It's like everyone was like over winter. Now it's coming back.
Felicia, thank you. Oysters are not the only.
Felicia, going west now.
Yeah, let's talk about it because it's about to get even messier out there. And then, of course, we watch as that next system out west makes its way across the country. If you're talking about Seattle, just a March mess for you guys. 40s and 50s, a cool rain, on and off rain. Not to say that it's going to be, you know, a dousing constantly, but rain in the forecast for the end of the week, into the weekend, early next week. You'll notice that we've had this high pressure and control over the west, a little bit of a low, a cutoff low that's going to be kicked out. But by the time we get to the midweek, that dome of high pressure is persisting. Now, eventually into the weekend, we watch as our next dip in a jet stream, our next trough moves in. That's going to bring some cold air that brings that unsettled weather and focuses that precipitation across the southwest. So we're going to expect some rain, some scattered snow showers as well. We're going to add that up. Not in a big way. This isn't going to be a huge rainmaker for this whole area, but it's going to be a pretty steady rain. And in the places where you get rounds of rain over and over, you could certainly see some higher higher amounts. Broad brush forecast here on the rainfall. Maybe some of the higher totals there across Northern California, Southern Oregon. We'll get some of that snow adding up as well. You'll notice we're still not done with snow for the season, especially across the Sierra, maybe up to 2 feet. So we'll add a little bit more on there. Of course, when we're talking about this being our snowy, rainy season, you like to put that money in the bank in terms of that snow hanging around. Watch what our weekend looks like. Friday, your afternoon commute, your Saturday into your Sunday. So guys, again, it's not going to be one of those things where it's just raining heavily constantly, but you've got some rain in the forecast for days across this portion of the country.
Tis the season. This is our wet season.
Yep, you want it.
Yeah, Felicia, thank you for that.